Remember, he is one of the few, if not the only one, who could potentially become a two-time M Series champion, as he was under the Echo M4 winning roster.
That's right, he was number 7.
Yeah.
Sixth would be JP along that 5-man roster that won in Jakarta, Indonesia. Closing up their first phase, there's the Cho for the Emperor, Akihiro-san, JPL, and the Jushin.
Yep.
Jushin did not show up at all in, well, she got banned in the second phase, game 1, but this should definitely still fix that whole mid lane situation for NIP Flash.
Yeah, they got to tax that mid lane. They really have to tax that mid lane. They cannot let Troll just kind of walk wherever he wants to anymore. You need to be able to open up space for your team. The Moscow pick coming in from Twisted Minds, like, I got to give it to Coach Lyric here. He's done some great pre-preparation for this.
Yes.
And I think at this point, NIP Flash, I feel like they're starting to sweat.
Yeah, Twisted Minds. If they want to go for a more aggressive approach, something that was banned earlier might actually show up. At this rate, with the momentum that you have, you're familiar with the team you're going up against, they know they want to be aggro, you have the Moskov there. Most importantly, they can have a strong 4-man and play around a mid lane Angela.
That, or something from Coffin Season, what if a Sicilian?
I'll take it. Now, I'll do you one better. Valentina might just be the way to go for this. Based on what we're seeing, you've got 2 melee heroes that you can actually punish. You take a Purify, that's also pretty good.
Allows for them to win fast too. Again, flip the script. Everybody's expecting Twisted Minds to play to the ultra late game. What if we win under 15?
Because right now, NIP Flash, they've recalibrated their priorities here. Their first 3 picks ensure at least one side of the map, or at least their goal is to control one side of the map. Maybe the area where the Hilda will be, around that EXP side, so the Cho and the Jushin will just apply a lot of pressure. And then NIP Flash is reading into it. They ban out the Sicilian. Valentina is still open. And historically, the lineup that NIP Flash, those first 3 are actually also countered by an Aurora. So we've posed 3 options for the mid laners for Twisted Minds. The Angela, Valentina, and Aurora are all up.
All of which are really, really good here. Ah, man. It's tough, right? Because they all have their own benefits and all really profit off of setting it up. Maybe it doesn't really matter what order, whether Gato goes in first or they start peeling first and then Gato comes in. But I'm looking at the draft pattern. We see the Granger ban out here. I'm thinking whether or not they want to kind of shift it slightly and also double down at pinching on the marksmiths, whether it be Beatrix or even Harith.
Oh, they take out the Haya. Okay. Hayabusa is usually a sign that, oh, they might actually go Angela here. Because if you take out the Hayabusa, that means you're probably not thinking of picking up something like the Aurora types, because Aurora has that second life feature with her passive.
Yeah.
Usually, you're okay with picking an Aurora into the Hayabusa. So now I'm leaning towards, yeah, Valentina or Angela might be their mid lane pick.
Let's see how this plays out, right? There's a couple of options because I feel like the Hayabusa is a little out of pocket, right? If you're thinking about assassins,
it is.
Why not double down on the assassins? And yeah, maybe they just want to force him back on Joy.
Could also just be like pure respect for Hades, yeah. They're hammering down the mid lane. If you got a mid lane Angela, it's the perfect time now. Come on.
Coach Zarate and Coach KZP actually read well into that too. Because by taking out the Hayabusa, they might want the Loyi as well. You pop that before the diversion even becomes a thought.
Ooh.
So now it's the Valentina. Or the Angela. Like, those are 2 solid picks.
Yeah. Because right now, those first 3, I feel like those are quite ulti dependent. So, yes, the Angela has a strong ulti, but I feel like you just time it right. It's so good for extended team fights.
Yeah, and I don't see Twisted Minds wanting to skirmish very often here, but they're going to go with the safe one into Aurora. I think they still have to fight for like mid-prio anyways, because again, you know that this show most likely is going to be the dedicated roam support from JPL, and with the help of that Jushin, I mean, yes, Gato is great, but he's walking away at a life tax.
All right, NIP Flash's lineup here. The front line isn't that tanky compared to the Gato Kacha, and what could potentially, again, just be another Tigreal pick, but the Tigreal playing into the Jushin in the center of the map, that might be the thing they're holding on.
I'm not even playing the Tigreal and I'm already miffed.
Yeah, right?
At the experience.
You're thinking, should I not? Probably shouldn't.
2 cores for NIP Flash coming up right now. The gold laner and the jungler. Who's it going to be?
I mean, Bay is still open and Harith.
The 1-1, the Harith, you said, yeah?
But they're like damage.
The Naden, of course!
Oh,
And the Joy.
That is magic heavy. If they go tanky here for the last pick of Twisted Minds, just rush Radiant Armors, and then suddenly it's going to take a long time for NIP Flash to have their damage felt.
Great stopper on the Aurora too. It looks like Twisted Minds have drafted NIP Flash into a corner despite it looking very good.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with the Natan, honestly. Like, why would they, if they have an early game with the Hilda on top of the Tro, you go for the Natan. I think that Beatrix probably would have been a better bet if knowing that you wanted the Joy anyway for distribution of damage. So yes, now you've got like these really good kicks and stuff like that, but who's your main target other than Zano on this Moskov? And he can just take Purify anyways.
Twisted Minds are thinking about their Rome EXP trade. Where's that Gatakachi going, and what's it going to be paired with? It's the glue. And even more so now, this lineup of Twisted Minds has looked devastating. Just time it right. However, I see a world wherein the glue might actually not even be able to get into position. Yeah, let's see. All right, Stafa, Mirko, take it away for this potentially last game of the series.
Take it away, we shall! Ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping into game number 2 very, very soon. Thoughts on the drafts, Mirko?
I agree, man. The Natan pick. I know it's great against Sano, against the Moskov. It's a very, very good matchup for the Natan, but I mean, the points that Gideon made, I agree with, but on top of that, there's just so much magic damage on the side of NIP Flash. Twisted Minds, they instantly picked up the glue. They knew they needed someone tanky enough. Go for full magic defense.
Well, maybe a little bit of magic is what NIP Flash needs to take a victory right now, because Twisted Minds are one victory away from making history as the first team from MENA to make it to an M-Series top 8. Can they solidify it in stone? Let us find out.
If they do it, not only are they going to be the first MENA team to make it to top 8, but they're also going to take away perhaps the chance for NIP Flash to go back-to-back top 8. They made it at MSC 2024. They're definitely going to be looking to do the same thing here, but it does seem like Twisted Minds, man, they've been on a crazy progressive journey right now. They've just been improving so much after last time we saw them. Emblem-wise, Bargain Hunter for the Natan. Again, Master Assassin Sano really likes to just play in the side lane, always pressuring and taking turrets alone.
I do kind of like that we are seeing the Bargain Hunter from Vanix, though. I think NIP Flash realizing that Twisted Minds actually plays really well towards the mid to late game. So if you have a bit of a safety net there to make sure that you can match up in scaling once you reach that point in the game, then it's going to be a little bit more efficient than just straight up trying to win the lane, because Twisted Minds likes going for a safer opening playstyle, right? They're not going to go out of their way to force anything on the map or even in their respective lanes, and just try to delay it until they actually hit their power spikes. And NIP unfortunately tried to force one too many situations, which ended up playing exactly into their hands in game number 1.
And it's also the Brave Smite, man, for Coffin, or sorry, for Curtizi here. We've seen so many different emblems for the Juicin, and I think in M6, it's safe to say that the Brave Smite has been one of the best, maybe even the best option to go for if you want to just go in aggressively. We saw this first, I believe, from Rins, and then we saw it also from Super Friends coming in. The Brave Smite allows you to just go in for the Crimson Beacon, stay sustainable, and get so much done in the team fights.
Yeah, I think nowadays with the meta, if you want your hero to be viable, it needs to do one of two things. It needs to be an unkillable frontline, or it needs to do a lot of... Hold on.
Almost a kill. Oh, the flicker from Sanji. Great slam to take that kill over. So they get a trade at least. But it's just Diablo on a Hilda.
The thing is, if that Hilda was the roam, sacrificing yourself for Turtle is totally worth it. But Diablo is the EXP laner. When you die once as an EXP laner, you do end up losing a bit of that lane pressure overall. I think it's still fine, because if we look at where the lane equilibrium right now is in the EXP lane, Diablo isn't actually going to miss out on too many minions, and so we'll still be able to match up against Sanji, which is very, very important, as this Hilda is the only source of burst physical damage that NIP Flash has to play around with. He needs to become a threat, so that Twisted Minds actually needs to itemize against him instead of just going full out magic defense against Hades and Vanix.
Yeah, Sanji definitely pressured. Oh, Hoda. Very aggressive, always just going for these stuns. Baited out the Crimson Beacon earlier. And now I guess we can move our focus back to the junglers, right? The pathing for both the junglers. Hoda actually losing up in a bit of levels. AOG coming down a bit late though. The Purify was able to get the immune down. Hoda still able to get the damage. JPL way the Dragon Vanix from downtown. Rotates to the mid lane, gets the entropy, and that's the equalization and kills.
Very, very nice. And this is the adjustment that we wanted to see from NIP Flash. That was definitely a more patient approach, waiting for Twisted Minds to put themselves in an awkward situation and maybe wait for resources to be expended before full committing. JPL being able to find that kick later on when we saw Hoda had already gone a little bit too far forward, set it up a whole lot more easily, especially when combined together with Kurt TZ. NIP Flash definitely recognized that since they're playing with a Zeusin in the mid lane, their fights are not going to be very, very fast, right? It's more of extended skirmishes, which means that they cannot full commit, right? Unless they have a form of burst alongside them, which is why Vanix was brought over. The more snowball that this Natan can pick up, as compared to Sano, the quicker NIP Flash can accelerate the game.
That's a Starlium Scythe, I believe, picked up. Yeah, for Hades, so already quite quick. You can see right now the turtle getting contested. Hades walking up. We'll be going to the Sanji, putting a bit of damage, baiting on slam, pass, Cortese, Lancer Flare, JPL looking for it, getting away the dragon now. Diablo gonna help him out with a focus and down. Hoda able to dash away. Cortese putting the Lancer Flare down, and that's gonna be the Frigid Glacier to connect. SOD for the bottom lane, Troll gonna get the kill. Sano joining the fight with a Spear of Destruction, and a man advantage works out for Twisted Minds. Wow.
Yeah, that is a bit unfortunate. NIP Flash has a lineup that's very burst-based, right? So they have to play around timings if Vanix is not around. And Vanix was obviously not around there. Twisted Minds now full control of the turtle. Should be able to pick it up quite easily. It was a really good kick by JPL. They actually gathered 3 members of Twisted Minds together. But Hades was still like 1 or 2 seconds off from activating that electrifying beats, which meant that the burst damage was simply not there. And Twisted Minds could instantly reverse the situation, especially with Sano coming in with that Spear of Destruction. That's why NIP Flash needs to take slower fights, right? They have to pick up on the exact timing when Hades is ready to go in for the DPS, because otherwise they just simply don't have enough damage output to threaten Twisted Minds at this stage of the game.
Yeah, they really don't. Cortese with the Brave Smite and the way that Juicen is, it's more on utility than it is for damage, right? And yeah, I guess you could try to rely on Diablo for a bit of damage in the early game, but the burst is certainly not there. When JPL goes for the way of the dragon, no one can really fully capitalize on that. And now it becomes a game of who gets to the power spike first, right? Vanix, does he get to that item power spike? Does he get to the world's first IRL gaming district there? The esport district, Kidia? Oh wait, we're getting sidetracked here. No, the itemization, yeah, not the place.
Though the place is pretty important as well. Right now, Vanix needs the Holy Crystal so that he can start becoming a threat to Twisted Minds. And that is usually going to be the 3rd item, unless he decides to go for the rush, right? And I don't really think that's the best idea when you're going for Bargain Hunter. You are scaling up a little bit more for that late game. So NIP Flash actually shouldn't be looking too hard for pickoffs anymore. Now that we are 6.5 minutes in, Diablo by himself will not be enough damage to just burst the target down. You need to have 4 members
1v1.
together.
Electrifying beat. Sano still able to actually get out. Did he use the SOD to escape earlier? Yeah, I think he did. Diablo looking for the jump on him. Sano, great recall. Very decisive. Just goes for it, then gets out. Diablo will cut the waves though, so it might be better setup for NIP Flash as we get to the turtle. Hoda getting the stun down, but now might be punished. JPL looking for it with the way to Dragon. There you go. Hoda punished, and Vanix is able to capitalize. Electrifying beats coming down to Troll. Pops in Revitalize. Vanix getting the free hits, forcing the AOG defensively. There you have it. NIP Flash full control for Turtle 3.
Okay, those are exactly the types of fights that NIP Flash need to be looking for. Delay the entrance, force multiple cooldowns on Twisted Minds, then go for an off-tempo initiation with the Way of the Dragon when Hades is ready to initiate. Vanek could be in some trouble, but looks like the Spear of Destruction will not be taken here. So that will give NIP Flash some space necessary to start opening up the map, to start picking up on items, and Twisted Minds need to now realize that they actually need to revert a little bit more into safer play until Sano comes online.
Now Vanix is becoming a problem, right? He's actually becoming a real threat. Once he gets the Holy Crystal, I don't know, even if Twisted Minds have the magic defense already, is it going to be enough to deal with a Hades power spike, a Joy Hades power spike, a Vanix Natan power spike? I think that might actually be able to overwhelm the magic defenses of Twisted Minds. And again, when we're talking about Sano, we're waiting for the item power spike. Definitely, he can attack from different angles. But the range advantage of the Natan might be a bit too much for Sano to even deal with. So let's say he gets a flank. He's probably going to get deleted, even with the rose gold.
Yeah, the thing about Natan is that once you have that Holy Crystal, once you're at the 4th or 5th item power spike, people melt. It doesn't even necessarily have to be squishier targets, right? Even tankier heroes take so much damage from it. And I'm actually a little bit worried about Twisted Minds going for the build they are, because there is no Athena. Like, look at that! Look at that damage!
Yup, Lantern Flare, Sano might be forced to Purify, and he does. Show go for the flanks, go for the Cortese. Purify out as well. Cortese will respect it. Vanix gets the turret. And it's just a trade, a turret tier 2 for a Purify. Also a sprint technically for Diablo. But you can see that gold lead building now even more. Vanix, he's the one holding on to the 3,000 almost gold lead you see on your screen for NIP Flash.
And he just got the Holy Crystal right there. So all that damage that Sano was taking was without Holy Crystals even. So NIP Flash now is the best timing for them. When Vanix has his 3rd item, when Twisted Minds has not itemized into Athena shield yet, even Sanji only has the 1 Radiant armor. So they really have not gotten the magic defense necessary to even survive a couple of seconds against this Natan. This is where you can push the advantage. This is where you can force Twisted Minds into defensive action and take control of more of the map.
Hold up, dishing out a bit of damage. Hades already using Electrifying Beast. What happened up top? It's a 2v1. Diablo and Vanix deleting Sano, deleting the threat of a cross-map play, and now Twisted Minds in a 4v4. They weren't able, or sorry, 4v3 rather. They weren't able to force the issue. They thought Diablo was somewhere there.
When Sano is down, NIP Flash can afford to actually play very aggressive. They can even throw bodies at them because they just don't have damage they need to worry about anymore. Now that you are at 10 minutes, without the Moskov, Twisted Mind is very reliant on burst themselves, whereas NIP Flash have a lot more to work with Vanix on their side. And with the Lord now pushing up top lane, I think we can expect this next push, as long as the waves are managed properly, to take out every external tower for NIP Flash.
Vanix is just so free. Entropy forward. He has the confidence to just go in as well. Hades melting down Sanji with electrifying beats there, forcing him very low as well to back away. Now Vanix, we're going to play with the Lord. They've already dealt with the Holy Defense in the bottom lane. The tier 2 will fall. Twisted Minds still have pretty good defenses right now. Sano is back up again. Will be able to clear out the Lord. And that's Lord 1 dealt with. But NIP Flash will have another wave in the mid lane. They should be able to get all the tier 2s here. And if Twisted Minds try to fight, I don't know about it. Look at the utility from Cortese. Constantly putting the Lantern Flare down, and no one is ready to actually go and catch, even when Cuffin gets the stun.
Yeah, 100% Twisted Minds cannot be the primary initiators. They have to wait to counter-engage, try to bait things out from NIP Flash, but even then, can they do so?
AOG, onto Diablo, but he gets melted down to Purify out of the Frigid Glacier. Hold up, trying to look for an angle. Hades jumping in, Sano gets his Spear Eviscerate, BL knocks him up with a Jeet Kune Do. 4 members of Twisted Minds have been evaporated. And now it's just Hoda.
This is comfort. This is the NIP Flash we all know and love. Crystal wide open. I doubt Hoda can do anything now. Unstoppable. NIP Flash gonna show them what it means to take a victory. And ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping into game number 3.
NIP Flash, they don't want to go down just like that in game 1, you know? After a stomp, they gotta return the favor. It's another stomp, and now we have game 3 to see whether NIP Flash can go back-to-back right here in top 8, as they did in MSC top 8 as well, or if Twisted Minds can finally be the first team from MENA to do it.
It all comes down to this one singular best of 1. So once again, we're gonna throw it back over to our panel for them to give their analysis of what happened in this one.